Eggs have been called a superfood, a cholesterol bomb, a muscle-building staple, and a heart attack risk, sometimes all in the same decade. Doctors disagree. Headlines flip every year. So are eggs actually healthy, or have we been wrong this whole time? Science finally has a clear answer. 1. Why eggs became one of the most controversial foods ever. Eggs were once considered the gold standard of nutrition. Cheap, filling, complete protein. For decades, they were a breakfast staple across cultures. Then everything changed. In the 1960s and 70s, dietary cholesterol became public enemy number one. Eggs were suddenly blamed for heart disease, clogged arteries, and early death. Doctors told people to limit egg consumption to a few per week, or avoid them entirely. Entire generations grew up believing egg yolks were dangerous. What made eggs such an easy target was their cholesterol content. One large egg contains around 185 milligrams of cholesterol, nearly an entire day's recommended limit according to old guidelines. But here's the problem. Those guidelines were based on assumptions, not long-term human outcomes. And for decades, no one seriously questioned them. 2. The cholesterol myth that refused to die. For years, the logic seemed simple. Eat cholesterol, blood cholesterol rises, heart disease risk increases. But biology is rarely that simple. Modern research shows that dietary cholesterol and blood cholesterol are not the same thing for most people. Your liver produces cholesterol on its own, and when you eat more, it often produces less. Large meta-analyses now show that for about 75 to 80% of people, eating cholesterol has little to no effect on LDL cholesterol levels. Eggs, in particular, increase HDL, the good cholesterol, more than LDL in many individuals, improving the LDL to HDL ratio, which is a better predictor of heart risk than total cholesterol alone. In 2015, dietary guidelines quietly removed cholesterol limits altogether. No apology, no headline, just gone. Eggs weren't the villain anymore, but the fear stuck. 3. What happens in your body when you eat eggs? Eggs are one of the most biologically complete foods humans eat. One egg contains all 9 essential amino acids, choline, critical for brain health, lutein and zeaxanthin, eye protection, vitamin B12, A, D, and selenium. Protein from eggs has one of the highest bioavailability scores of any food. Your body actually uses it efficiently, unlike many plant proteins that require combinations or higher quantities. Egg yolks are where most of the nutrients live. Removing the yolk removes choline, fat-soluble vitamins, and antioxidants. This is why egg whites alone are nutritionally inferior, despite being popular in diet culture. Eggs also trigger satiety hormones. People who eat eggs at breakfast consistently report feeling fuller longer and consuming fewer calories throughout the day. That alone challenges decades of breakfast advice. 4. Eggs and heart disease. What the best studies actually show. This is where nuance matters. Large population studies show no significant association between egg consumption and heart disease in healthy individuals. For people without diabetes, eating up to 1 egg per day shows no increased cardiovascular risk in most research. However, and this matters, some studies suggest that people with type 2 diabetes may experience different effects, especially when eggs are consumed alongside ultra-processed diets high in refined carbs. This doesn't mean eggs are dangerous. It means context matters. Eggs eaten with vegetables and whole foods behave very differently than eggs eaten with white toast, sugar, and processed meats. Nutrition doesn't exist in isolation. Eggs were blamed for damage often caused by the rest of the plate. 5. Eggs and weight loss, surprisingly powerful. Eggs have repeatedly been shown to support weight management. Studies comparing egg-based breakfasts to cereal or toast-based breakfasts consistently find lower hunger later in the day, reduced snacking, improved calorie control. This isn't magic. It's protein plus fat working together to stabilize blood sugar. When blood sugar stays stable, cravings drop. This is one reason many nutritionists quietly reintroduced eggs years before official guidelines caught up. Eggs don't burn fat. They prevent the hormonal chaos that makes fat loss harder. 6. The problem with eggs isn't eggs, it's what we do to them. Eggs didn't earn their bad reputation alone. They were almost always studied or consumed alongside processed breakfast meats, refined bread, sugary drinks, industrial seed oils, Frying eggs in unstable oils at high heat creates oxidized fats, not because of the egg, but because of the oil. Pairing eggs with vegetables, whole foods, and stable fats produces a completely different metabolic outcome. Eggs are neutral to beneficial. The environment determines the result. 7. Are all eggs the same? Not even close. Here's where things get uncomfortable. Not all eggs are nutritionally equal. Eggs from pasture-raised hens contain higher omega-3 levels, more vitamin A and E, better fatty acid profiles. Caged, grain-fed hens produce eggs that are nutritionally inferior. Still healthy, but not optimal. This is why studies sometimes conflict. They rarely control for egg quality. An egg is only as good as what the hen eats. 8. Who should be cautious with eggs? Eggs are safe for most people, but there are exceptions. People with egg allergies, certain lipid disorders, poor glycemic control when paired with refined carbs, may need moderation or better pairing. This doesn't mean avoidance. It means personalization. Nutrition science has moved away from blanket rules, even if social media hasn't. 9. So, are eggs actually healthy? Yes. For most people, eggs are one of the healthiest foods available. They are nutrient-dense, affordable, filling, backed by modern science. The fear around eggs came from outdated assumptions, flawed correlations, and oversimplified messaging. Eggs didn't change. The science did. Final takeaway. Eggs were never the villain. They were caught in the crossfire of bad science, lazy headlines, and one-size-fits-all nutrition advice. If you're eating real food, managing blood sugar, and paying attention to quality, eggs aren't just safe. They're powerful. The question was never, are eggs healthy? It was always, healthy compared to what?